Kelly here with Kelly Soroka Life, and I am here today to talk to you of that I am have read for this moon cycle, and it is called Dark Goddess Craft by Stephanie Woodfield, and it is a journey through the heart of transformation. And so in the book, she has divided the book up into four different parts. So the first part is just an introduction to the who the dark goddess is. And she talks about the dark goddess as like an overarching kind of goddess figure of all the goddesses then that she talks about in the book and working with them. And so she talks about that and how to do it and the kind of the transformation that she wants you to go through or guide you through in this book. And so she breaks down that into three different parts. So the first part is the descent. The second part is challenge. And the third part is rebirth. So she has different goddesses for each of these parts of the journey. And so she takes you through this underworld journey where she guides you through meditations and meditations that you can read in the book and magic that you can do with each of the goddesses. And it's really, I really enjoyed the book and just getting to know some of the goddesses in here are ones that I work with a lot and feel very comfortable with. And then others I don't really know a lot about. And so it was really interesting. It seemed to me really, it did a lot of research into the goddesses, all of these goddesses, and ones that she has worked with and ones that she feels familiar with, and gives the background of each goddess and really talks about the myth and the history and of each goddess. And so I really enjoyed that and digging even deeper, and even some of the goddesses that I have worked with for and feel very familiar with, I still learned some new things. And so I really enjoyed that and some new ways to do magic. Now, in the book, I think when I read the introduction, that she has this set out as that you can work like with one of these goddesses monthly. So you could take this and work during 15 months or 15 moon cycles and work with each one of these goddesses as you want to do that. And so you could, if you wanted to do that and work with each of these goddesses on your own for a month, I think that would be a great study. And I might even, do something like that later on and uh, do some do some deeper studies and especially some of the goddesses that I don't know a lot about and or I've not studied or worked with. And so I might do that later on. It might be something that I do maybe next year when I start my cycles again, and I might add a goddess and I could do this and use this book for that. So I really like that. But you could also do it and do maybe just spend 3 months, and you could spend 1 month in descent, 1 month in challenge, and 1 month in rebirth. And you could read about all the goddesses and then pick the one that you wanted to work with, or you could, pick a 2 month period or however you really wanted to do that, however you wanted to make it work for you. And so I think that it's definitely very flexible enough and has a lot of interesting things for you to work with. And so some of the goddesses that she has in here are the Morgan, Kali, Eris, Persephone, and there's some other ones that Sedna is another one, and Ereshkigal, and some other goddesses that she's included. And so I'll let you, if you want to read the book, and I'll let you go in and see some of the other goddesses and what they're. I don't want to have too much of a spoiler, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about them. So, to kind of tell you about this book and kind of give you a report on this book, I decided to do some not screenshots, but a presentation that had some of the things that I got out of working with this book. So, I'm going to share my screen, and I have some slides here that I'm going to present. So you can watch these along in this video, and I'm going to see how this works. I've never really used slides, like a slide presentation like this, in one of my YouTube videos. So I'm going to try it and see how I like it, because I love Canva and I love making, these, like, all kinds of things, PDFs and presentations and everything with Canva. So I thought this would be a good way to kind of present the material and let you go through it and see what you get out of it. And if it's a book that you want to read, then you can check it out and read it for yourself. And if it's not, you can just take the magic and take it with you and use it however you want to use it. So here, this is Dark Goddess Craft by Stephanie Woodfield. And let me see if I can get it to, oh, here we go. Go to the next page. There we go. Okay. And then this is just my introduction. And this was a very nice quote that I found from the book that I thought was very interesting. And this was, it didn't come straight from the introduction, but it was something that I thought would be a good way to introduce kind of how her vision is in the book. And she says, all too often we treat the gods as spiritual vending machines. A little incense or some wine poured in a bowl becomes the cosmic quarter that drops down whatever we want from the sky. The gods or goddesses can do amazing things, but we have to earn them too. And I think this is so true, because we sometimes get so involved in the ceremony and the doing and the ritual that we forget that we need to do the work, that we need to actually do the work and go into the underworld and work with the emotions and let go of some things that really need to be released. And so this is and so she is kind of cautioning against just thinking that, oh, I'm just going to sit down and light a candle and all my problems are going to go away. And because they just don't, and we need to do the work. But these goddesses are here to help us, and I'm going to tell you about 3 of them and give you a little magic. And then if you want to go back and read the rest of the book, then you can do that as well. But in the first part is the descent. And so I picked Hecate because Hecate is a goddess that I'm very familiar with, that I work with a lot. She's definitely one of my goddesses, I feel like, on my goddess team. And so I felt like that she's a great one to descend into the underworld, to go through that first part of this journey and to just help you just get ready for it, to get cleansed, to get purified. And so she's at the beginning of the process of transformation. And you enter the underworld with Hecate as your guide, allowing the goddess to cleanse what is holding you back from true transformation. And that is the point of the book, is to go through a transformation with these goddesses. And so the little magic with Hecate that you can do is ask yourself, what is an obstacle that is standing in our way, or your way? It should be. What is an obstacle that is standing in your way? Write this down on a bay leaf and then burn the bay leaf, asking Hecate to cleanse you of this obstacle. So this is for you to get started. It's for you to get started in the descent, going into the underworld, facing that shadow. And Hecate is definitely a goddess that you can do that with. And she'll support you. She'll help you. She'll light the way. But again, just like in the beginning quote, she's not going to do it for you, but she's going to be there and help you, and she'll definitely, take that obstacle and help you work with it and let go of it. And then the second part is challenge. So challenge, I said challenge with Eris. And Eris is not a goddess that I've worked a lot with, but I think she is very fascinating. And it kind of comes in and goes, and in my life she's kind of come and gone, and there are times when I'm really connected to her, and then there are times when she's kind of she kind of fades into my background. And so here, the challenge here, now we've gone into the underworld and we're faced with that challenge. We're faced with having to do the work. So the next step is all about doing. And Eris brings the chaos, but the chaos that is necessary for true transformation. And here you're facing those messy emotions, those things that are hard, that shadow that is just really hard to work with. But Eris is there, and she is going to help you with this. She's going to help you with the challenge and bring that chaos, and know that it's necessary. It's a necessary point in the journey. So the magic with Eris is, what messy emotion do you want to work through? So hold an apple to your heart and ask Eris to support you on this emotional journey. So we've got the descent. We are going through our challenge. We're being asked to face the chaos, to face the shadow, so that we can rebirth with Persephone. And Persephone, she's one, I think, of one of the very first goddesses that I ever worked with, before I even knew that, how deeply her story ran, and how much there is to her myth, and how much she can get with her. I remember, reading the myth of Persephone when I was really in, I don't know, high school, or middle school, and just reading the Greek myths and reading Persephone's story, and always being connected to it. And then when I homeschooled my kids, we read those myths and things together, and that was one of my favorite ones to read. So Persephone is definitely there, and I see that I've just got um, lots of spelling errors in here, even though I looked through this. So it should be Persephone and spelled correctly. And it is spelled correctly down here, but not up there. But that's okay, because we're just going to keep going with it, because we're going to do a rebirth with Persephone. Now, here you've descended into the underworld, you faced the shadow, you faced those messy emotions, and you've learned a lot. So the rebirth is embodying the lessons of change. This is taking those lessons and taking them into your heart, into your soul, into your spirit. And Persephone guides you into this new season, to this new phase, into this new place. And she supports your growth, your independence, and your emerging truths, because there's going to be things that come up. There's going to be things that you learn, that you come up with, that you have to face now. And she's going to be there to help you through this. So the magic with Persephone, what truth is emerging for you? And now sip a glass of pomegranate juice in a quiet space. And you could also use a pomegranate if you have one, or pomegranate seeds if you have those. But sip a glass of pomegranate juice in a quiet space. Ask Persephone for support as you embody this newly discovered truth. So that's it. That's kind of an outline of the major parts of the book. And then you can go and you just want to work with these goddesses just as I here, or you want to read the book and do your own deeper work with these dark goddesses. that would be wonderful. But I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend this book for anyone. And then in conclusion, Stephanie Woodfield, she says, embracing the change of the dark goddess gives us embracing the change that the dark goddess gives us is an act of bravery. It is going in the dark of the underworld, even though we are terrified. It is accepting that parts of ourselves will die so another can be born. So that is it. And I hope that you very much enjoyed this little peek into the dark goddess craft. And if you like working with the dark goddesses, again, I think this is a great book. I think it's very well written. I think it's very approachable. I think it's the magic is things that anyone can relate to, whether you're, a beginner witch, whether you worked with goddesses for a long time now. So, but I think it's just a really good way to, and it's very well researched, I think, and I think it's just a very well written and a very good way to work through this process. And if there is, something that you do want to transform, is there something that you want to work with that you feel like that you need to face, that you want to have a rebirth, then this is a great book for that. So again, this is one of the books that or this is the book that I'm doing for the Cancer new moon cycle. And we are, quickly coming up to the Leo new moon, and I'll have all new things for you on that moon cycle. And so I have but for the Cancer one, and you'll see all of this in the description down below, I have worked with Chickweed. I have worked with Howlite, and I am working with the Victorian Fairy Tarot, and I'll probably do that near the end of this cycle because I want to do some work with it. And I have the newer version of the deck too, and I want to do some comparisons and walkthroughs and things like that. But the book is Dark Goddess Craft, and so I'll have at least one more video of the things that I've been doing. And I'll have this a PDF for you in the Cauldron, and I'll have a link to the Cauldron, your resource place, that you can find all these goodies for you. And so I have this Dark Goddess Craft, just kind of the basics here for you on a PDF, so you can use it and take this magic with you and work with one or more of these dark goddesses yourself. So thank you for being here with me, and let me know if you like the slides, and I'll definitely do some more slides in the future. And I will be coming back with you again, hopefully pretty soon, with work with the Victorian Fairy Tarot, and then announcing some of the new things that I'm going to be doing with the Leo new moon. So have a great day, and I will see you again soon.